And unfortunately, they come into this blind following of what their many mashiach say, and they believe that these shuyukh, that they fly through the air in red capes, and they leap any tall buildings in a single bound.
Just gonna follow me, come right here. You just do exactly as I do. Cool? Let me get my Superman thing here. Don't choke me.
Unfortunately, they come into this blind following of what their many mashiach say, and they believe that these shuyukh, that they fly through the air in red capes, and they leap any tall buildings in a single bound.
He said, I met major scholars in Mecca that we hear their tapes and read their books. He said these major scholars would drop what they're doing. When they found out that Sheikh Ja'far is in my group, they would stop what they're doing, stop their class, leave their halaqat, and come all the way and kiss his forehead, and then go back to what they were doing. Sheikh Ja'far Idris used to have a class, and he's an expert, he's a brilliant, صراحة brilliant mind, mashallah, tabarakallah. First of all, he has his PhD in philosophy. So he's an expert in philosophy, and as some scholars say about him, he's one of the last living scholars who were philosophers and upon the right manhaj. And I must say the other person that I benefited a whole lot from was Dr. and Sheikh Ali al-Tamimi. I've never sat with anybody, big scholar or not big scholar, except that I found an angle that I am more or better versed than them in it. But I've never in my life sat with someone that I could never find myself better than them in anything besides Ali al-Tamimi. Sheikh Ali al-Tamimi is really a phenomenal person, and as far as the amount of knowledge. And so you ask him about anything, you find that he knows something about it. But beyond that, he also has a lot of izzah. He's not one of those people that suck up or lower their heads to the kuffar. Wherever he works, they call him, actually one place where he works, they call him Superman. He's beyond what, I'm telling you, mashallah, tabarakallah, he's beyond what you think an average person is capable of. And wherever he works, they call him, actually one place where he works, they call him Superman. He's beyond what, I'm telling you, mashallah, tabarakallah, he's beyond what you think an average person is capable of.
These shuyukh, they fly through the air in red capes, and they leap any tall buildings in a single bound.
I think I can say a little bit more about Sheikh Ja'far Idris, hafidhahullah. Nobody writes like him, nobody has the ilm that he has.
And it's real quick, I was just with Sheikh Ja'far recently in Sudan, and every time he comes to Sudan I get the pleasure of sitting with him. Alhamdulillah, I'm good friends with his sons as well. So it's funny when you sit with him and he sees the tawaddu he has, and you almost forget you're sitting with a major scholar. You have to be careful, don't sit back and chill too much, because he'll come with you and just chill with you in his garden, drinking tea, and you feel like, so you actually forget sometimes. He's so mutawaddi, and he just brings him down like he's just like one of your brother. He doesn't make you feel like I'm your sheikh. And you'll find that these people, they're rejected all throughout the world, in the society. And I heard they have a basement here in this area, and all around the world is how they are. They're not accepted in the Muslim communities because they're not concerned about the Muslim ummah. All they want to do is talk about Muslims. And unfortunately, they come into this blind following of what their many mashiach say, and they believe that these shuyukh, that they fly through the air in red capes, and they leap any tall buildings in a single bound. That unfortunately, and all they want to focus on is talking about Muslims. And I know a lot of these people personally, and their communities, they have reached a level where it's like this type of irja. They see that they have made it. They're in the safe zone, everybody else is off of it. So this falls, that's why you always find these type of Muslims, they're always falling into sin. Now if we look at, for example, in some cities in America on the East Coast, where the biggest cocaine dealer is what? From this group. The biggest drug gun trade in the city from this group. I don't know, I want to mention about some of the things that some of the sisters do. I don't want to mention that here on tape when we're live here, but it's sad. Because why? Because they feel they've made it, And that's why it's so easy for them to fall into sin. And even in Medina, some of the things that happened, some of them, may Allah and He protect all of us. And it was some evil things. So and unfortunately, you'll find that they focus on trying to make fitna all the time, between the shabab and talking about the scholars. May Allah protect us all from this. And obviously, I was studying that, and I went through it, and I realized the time that was wasted, and qeel wa qal, and so and so is this, so and so is that. Alhamdulillah. And after about 4 or 5 years of going through that, Allah guided me, and I left that ideology. So and so's off, so and so's on. No, by the way, he's back on today. Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't know, man. He's back on today. He got his pass. He's back on the manhaj today. You'll find these people they don't get up pray Salat al-Fajr. And you'll find they talk about stuff and they don't even know. One of our brothers, Abu Muslima, the person has the biggest masjid in America.
The person has the biggest masjid in America.
Even like you said, if we come after him, if we think we might, we learn more than him in Medina, or this. I'm not saying I did. I haven't done anything like he's done. But look what the brother has done. Even some things we might not agree with that he said. And look what he's done for Islam in the West. And they just want to attack him. You see, if there's any light of Islam, they want to put it out. Subhanallah al-Azim. And that's why they focus on anybody who's a big da'iyah. They want to put him out. Abu Usama, Abu Muslima, Sheikh Jamal al-Din, Sheikh Ali Timi. They just want to focus on these people who have been successful in their da'wah and put out this light. Wallahu mutimmin nuruhu.
Any light of Islam, they want to put it out. Subhanallah al-Azim.